Hey guys, Mandy here from Laughing Grackle Terrell. Hope your week has been going well. Tonight we're going to tell you guys a little bit of what we do in our home time, which most of that includes our property. This is probably going to be a series of videos on how we come to get our property, our vision for the land, the plans for our section, and things like that. So I'm going to introduce you to my hubby, Nate, and let him tell you about the history of the land.
All right. My grandfather had a shop in Florida, and he sold it. It was a mechanic shop. He sold it to move to North Carolina, where my grandmother was from. And they bought this land. He bought it in 86. It was about 26 acres, somewhere in that neighborhood about then. And he sold a few pieces of it, and leaving about 19 acres left. On this land, there's two houses, a barn, and kind of like a shed, work shed, and a carport. My aunt lived in the house further back on the property. My grandfather and my grandmother lived in the house up here. After my grandfather died, the property was willed to my aunt and my mom. A few years back, my aunt died. And then last year on August, actually on her birthday, my mom died, leaving me the property and my cousins. So what we were doing after my grandfather died, my mom moved here. My mom wanted us to move onto the property. And we love the outdoors. And we also don't like dealing with all the red tape of, the county requiring for sewer and electric and all that stuff. So what we did was I bought an enclosed trailer, and we turned that into our bedroom.
Since we're not home very much at all.
Yeah.
So it's more like just camping.
And we come home once a month, if that. We were just out 2 months. So
long time.
And when we are home, we're home 4 days.
And back out.
Maybe 5. It will be more once the truck's paid off. Because I do have a lot of projects here I need to get done. But for now, we don't hardly spend any time here. Plus, I love the outdoors. So
we're in an enclosed box, an 8x8 box that's on wheels. So more room, the better.
Several years back, my grandfather when my mom moved up here, bought a camper, and he built a really large roof over top of it. It's about 20 by 40 and about 12 foot to the rafters from the ground. So it's got a good size to it. And the camper ended up falling apart. My mom lived in it for a while. My brother lived in it for a while. And of course, campers are not designed for long-term use, so it fell apart. And then they pulled it out from under the shelter, and that we have turned into our kitchen area and shower. I built a 12 by 12 deck, almost by myself. My brother helped a little bit when it came to putting in the decking, but she was staying with her dad in Louisville, taking care of him. And I'm like, I'm going to have a surprise for her when she gets back.
Oh, it wasn't.
I sent her pictures and she told her what I was doing, but
You're doing this on your own?
It's a lot different when you see it in person. But yeah, I built a 12 by 12 deck. I had a shower tent on it. The hurricane kind of
took that out.
But We have a spigot that mounts to the floor. It comes up that is a shower, a tub fill, and a handheld shower. So we really mostly take showers, but I do have a portable collapsible tub that we also use for baths. I built a whole water box. It has water filters and water heater and everything in it, propane water heater. I've run water lines all around. We got a kitchen sink with hand sprayer and faucet. I bought a huge Blackstone griddle with 2 side burners and deep fryer. Bought a pizza oven and a nice stainless steel rack to put that on. And I built some platforms, put a refrigerator on the deck. I mean, it's really decked out. Everybody loves our setup. I did pretty much all of that in the time she was at home. She was up at Louisville. Some of the things didn't come until she got back home, and we put those together, like the griddle. But at that time, we were actually living in a tent.
So it's an upgrade.
Then I built, I bought a bed frame, a king size bed frame. We've got a nice, very comfy king size bed.
Yes.
We would be in it right now, but I've let my niece stay in the trailer right now. I built the headboard for it with cubby storage and everything else. Put shelves up at the front of the trailer. But it's been a task.
Yes. Especially with the hurricane.
Yeah. Everything seems to be keeping us from doing the things that we need to get done. We've got 2 tractors here. We can't mow the fields because both the tractors are broke down. The hydraulic systems on both of them need to be rebuilt. And I haven't had time to do that. The zero-turn mower, when we first moved here, my grandfather had backed it twice into the pond. And it
Love the
not
man. He was
working
not
great.
like 93, 98 and still out cutting trees down.
So
Deaf as a doornail.
I've got to work on it. But when we first got here, I already had to work on it because he was a great mechanic. He could build, he could fix anything. But the problem is he didn't like going to town. So when he fixed something, he fixed it with the scrap that he could find around the property.
Mind you, we're 25 miles one way to anything.
So whenever he had to go use something like the mower or his tractor, 9 times out of 10, he had to fix something again before he could use it. Well, I don't have that much home time. I don't have time to be fixing something every time I need to use it. So I'm like, I love my grandfather. He did what
he could do.
Well, I mean, he could have done more, but he didn't care. He had all the time in the world. He was retired. So he enjoyed working on the stuff anyway. It's not that I don't enjoy working on stuff, but I don't like working on stuff twice. I'm just that way. I want to fix it and fix it right. So I completely rewired the mower, front to back, wire looms, and it's better than the day it came off the assembly line. And I do tend to do things overboard, but you know, I put a voltmeter on it. I put an hour meter on it. I do things right. But yeah, we really enjoy our place. Even now that my mom's died, I have let her boyfriend, because he took good care of her. even though they weren't married.
It is common law
Yeah. She was already married. She didn't get a divorce from her previous husband because he was a veteran, and she may not have lived as long as she did if she hadn't had his VA insurance. So she stayed married to him because she desperately needed that insurance.
Yeah.
With the cancer and everything else she had. So even though they weren't married, he is still like my stepfather.
Yeah.
And I promised her he would always have a place here. And he still lives in the house. And even if he did move out, I don't think we'd move in the house.
Yeah.
Because I love our spot. It is so perfect for me. And I guess she loves it too.
Well, whenever you're in this kind of enclosed area, you really get cramped up. And in that, you get to the point where you want your space, and be outdoors because you're always in the truck.
You sit on our deck and you look out at the woods.
Or what was the woods?
Yeah.
Hurricane. Yeah.
Yeah, the woods ain't what they used to be, but
yeah, there's it
still is a nice view from our deck. A lot of those trees that are straight out from our deck are still there.
Yeah.
We just have one laying on top of the camper, but nobody's living in the camper, so that's okay.
Yeah. It's not in a right now situation to clean up.
We got a lot of help when the hurricane happened. That I'm very grateful for.
Yes.
And
so wasn't that wasn't Cajun.
We're going to get more help.
Yes.
No, they're gonna come back and help us clean up more.
And we appreciate that greatly.
It's going to take us a good number of years to clean up the mess that hurricane left on this property. There's probably well over 100 trees down.
No, definitely.
And we lost probably, I'd say, 60 to 70% of our trees on the property.
Yeah.
And half the property is forested.
So it's going to be a huge, massive job.
Not only that, part of my plan is, I'm taking out all the pine trees.
Yes.
Even the ones that haven't fallen, I'm taking them out. Because during the hurricane, it was the pine trees that fell.
Which knocked all the other trees down.
The deciduous trees and broke them off. The pine trees are the only ones that uprooted because they don't have a good root base. The deciduous trees would have been fine if that giant pine tree hadn't hit it and snapped it off. All of the deciduous trees are snapped.
Domino effect.
And we happened to be in the trailer when that happened too. We'll save that story for another time.
Yeah, this is going to end up being a series because it's too big to really get you guys to really understand.
Yeah, because my niece is in the process of moving onto the property. I'm going to be moving my brother onto the property. We have a lot of stuff
that needs to happen.
You want to do your orca?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Today's oracle cards are from the Witching Hour deck. The first card is the Mud and Moss. This is the rock bottom card of the deck. This is talking about someone having trouble finding something to hold on for. Depression, anxiety, hopelessness, feelings, not seeing a way out of it. It's a reminder to seek within instead of waiting for a white knight to come. Some shadow work is in order. Quit procrastinating and start putting in the work toward your goal. The next is the witching herbs. This is saying that you might want to look into alternatives to modern medicine, especially if you have problems with your insurance, or if you your insurance and just overall trying to find other ways of doing, like for your mental health, finding the herbs that will actually help. I myself do not know that side, so I'm not going to, give you herbs to do it. But that is definitely something that you need to look into and explore, because sometimes you just don't have the finances to do it, to buy the modern medicine type stuff, and or it doesn't work for you.
Side effects are worse than the disease.
Yeah. And that is what it's getting at. If things are not working that way, then you have to go to a different alternative. Let's see. Give your body what it needs to heal. Be it sleep, nutritional food, which growing your own food, figuring out, plant-based stuff. Water. Are you drinking enough water? Think of it like this. If you're not resting, your body is not healing. And that's it for this time. We'll see you later.